Now that we understand the importance and significance of taking a closer look at purchasing knowledge, let's delve deeper into the topic and consider what skills a purchaser need for the various activities and processes in PSM. To determine which competencies are deemed necessary, researchers ask participants to discuss their work goals, the competence that contribute to their success, and any obstacle they faced. A total of 65 competencies were identified as essential for meeting personal and organizational objectives. Negotiation emerged as the most frequently mentioned competency. When categorized by shared characteristics, these competencies fell into groups related to communication and relationship management, for example, communication skills, interpersonal communication, strategic and analytical skills, for example, strategic thinking, analytical thinking, and professional knowledge requirements, for example, basic knowledge of PSM roles and processes. After discussing general trends, participants were asked in previous research how these might influence their role and what competencies will be necessary moving forward. Interviewees highlighted new competencies as addition to the current skill set, indicating a shift towards skills needed to address emerging challenges rather than replacing existing ones. A total of 56 competencies were identified by PSM professionals, ranked by frequency mentioned interviews. Within the top 10 competencies listed um, here on this slide. Many of these competencies are related to digitalization, such as e-procurement technology, automation, big data analytics, and computer literacy. This emphasizes also sustainability, whereas reflects growing importance in modern industry. In the past, there was a person in purchasing who took on multiple roles, had low specialization, and above all, possessed a range of skills and implemented them in purchasing. We have symbolically educated this with a football representer and visualize it here, who performed all the tasks that were noticeably at the same time. In the current era, there's been a shift towards specialists for individual activities. Several people have a high level of specialization for their role and only a basic understanding of the field itself. This results in the so-called T-shape, where basic knowledge of general topics and an in-depth understanding of a specialization. We have illustrated this step with the era in which a team commentates on the game and each one has their own task and specialization. In the future, increasing technology changes will enable a support function for which each role has identified, understood, and applied its own technologies. In purchasing, after these technologies could include e-procurement systems that support the role's sourcing process and supplier selection, or generative AI applications that specifically assist the contract agreement team in drafting contracts. We have visualized this with a software that analyzes in our symbolic football conclusion also software for running routines, passing routines, and so on. Jones' concept of roles in organization, in which each role has several basic or advanced skills, allows for an in-depth scientific examination on this topic. When several people have several roles, this results in a corporate function that can be viewed as a part of a division and later as a part of an organization. In this way, the connection between the individual examination and the entire organization can be established. Now back to purchasing. Our previous project Persist, which was also founded by the European Union, dealt specifically with the new 6 roles in purchasing which were brought by the Industry 4.0. I would like to take a brief summary with this research change the role model here according to these new 6 roles in particular due to the Industry 4.0. With a maximum expected probability of 68%, the role of data analyst in future purchasing and supply management has been identified with the highest impact. This role prepares and presents data for the technologies and the digital tools which were used. We were also able to identify new roles such as Process Automation Manager and System Innovation Scout, which will strengthen the purchasing department in future. A detailed look at the critical competencies in PSM towards Industry 4.0 revealed 9 new ones. First, let's consider the importance of handling, analyzing, and interpreting large amounts of data. By utilizing data mining and visualization techniques, we can identify and solve problems more effectively. This capability allows us to understand the potential impacts of our decision, leading to more informed strategic choices. Next, as the operational purchasing technologies continue to evolve, such as catalog-based purchasing, the need for specific skills becomes paramount. These skills focus on working with these advanced systems and defining future development requirements. It is essential that we stay abreast these advancements to fully leverage their functionality and scope. Another critical aspect is the ability to organize and manage people within a digital environment. This involves using performance indicators provided by digital systems to monitor activities effectively. By doing so, we can enhance team productivity and ensure alignment with organization goals. Lastly, I want to highlight the implementation of robotic process automation in purchasing, so-called RPA. RPA enables us to configure software bots that can capture and interpret applications for processing transactions. These bots can manipulate data, trigger responses, and communicate with other digital systems seamlessly, streamlining and process significantly. Let's switch to the other 5 critical skills. It's essential to have a coherent and integrated understanding of both the vertical and horizontal supply chains for goods and services. This comprehensive perspective enables us to manage the supply chain effectively from economic, social, and environmental viewpoints. By considering these dimensions, we can make decisions that not only benefit our organization, but also contribute positively to society and the environment. Next, let's delve into negotiation within digital environment. With the rise of e-sourcing technologies and auctions, negotiation have transformed significantly. In this context, Industry 4.0 emphasizes machine negotiation and digital marketplaces, which require us to adopt our strategies accordingly. Staying up to date with the current global trends, such as those associated with Industry 4.0, is crucial to maintaining a competitive advantage. We need to assess how these trends can influence our commodity strategies and corporate planning processes so that we can respond proactively rather than reactively. Moreover, it's vital to implement legislative and other legal requirements into automated purchasing process effectively. Utilizing technologies like blockchain and smart contracts can help create transparency throughout the supply chain while ensuring compliance with regulations. Finally, while technology plays a significant role in communication today, we must not overlook the importance of personal communication in solving issues with both internal and external stakeholders in an Industry 4.0 environment. Engaging directly with people and foster stronger relationships that go beyond mere electronic interactions. The expected probability in percent for each skill in comparison to the impact on a 5-level Likert scale can be seen here. The most probable and at the same time most important skill will be the data analytics competence, followed by the skills for implementing and using e-procurement technologies. The other skills identified also have a high probability of over 55% and an impact of over 3. We will now see when and how these roles will develop over the years. the skills of e-procurement technology, data analytics, and strategic management currently have a high adoption level of 40% and are expected to gain adoption levels over the estimated 20 years and remain the highest in comparison. Finally, another remarkable perspective are the soft skills. And scientific research in PSM provided input to conduct a deepening investigation on the assumption that soft skills are necessary conditions to perform hard skills. An often heard question is whether entrepreneur behavior, creativity, incentiveness, and strategic or holistic thinking can be developed. Giratli and the co-authors have confirmed this in 2016 and provided evidence that establishing a team, creative climate in purchasing department is supportive. Laker and Powell in 2011 also acknowledged that soft skills can be influenced. Yet, they argue that compared with the learning of hard skills, soft skills learning encounters higher resistance levels from both the trainees and the management.